Hey there, I'm glad to see you here today with us. Today we're going to be doing episode part 2 of the Kubota bucket build. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so let's talk about the cutting edge. So the first one, this is personally what I'm doing here. So step 1, you basically want to do a pre-plan. And step 2 is, you want to figure out, this is what I do. I don't cut a whole long piece and build it. I usually go over there, draw it on a piece of paper, or draw it on the metal. But I usually just draw it on the CAD drawing, cut it out, and then I kind of put it up there. But I use a small piece. I don't want to waste material. So I put it up there because I'm a visual learner. Most guys are visual learners. So I put it up there and kind of figure out what I want to do. So let's get into it. I'll show you what I do, and I hope this helps. So I went over on the computer, typed in Google, hey, tractor cutting edge. Didn't know nothing about cutting edges. So it told me what type of metal to use. 1055, told me the thickness, and how wide it was, and the degree of the bevel. So I kind of took that information and took the stuff I had on hand, what I have here now at weld.com. So I didn't have that 1055, so I'm using 304 stainless, 3/8 thick. On the Rockwell scale, it's harder actually. So I kind of took their ideals and kind of just took my ideals and just kind of fabbed it. So we're building this short. We don't want to build this long. We're trying to get a rough ideal done, what I wanted. So I kind of figured it out off camera so it wouldn't take forever on camera. So what I'm doing is measuring 1.5 inches right here, and I already beveled this. I beveled this at 65 degrees. So let's go ahead and clamp this up here, and I'll show you like what your rough ideal will look like and everything. So I know I'm going into detail, but people are asking about it. Hey, can you explain detail work? Explain a little bit about fitting. So let's go ahead and I'll show you that right now. So I already marked 1.5 inches here. And also my sides, I forgot to mention. So I'm gonna put reinforcement sides right here on the sides. So that's a 1/4 inch plate. So I basically left a 1/4 inch from the top of my bevel right here, the top of my bevel, and I measure a 1/4 inch back because I'm using a 1/4 inch plate. So we're gonna go up here. I put soapstone lines already here. Yeah, move this back a little bit. And we're just tapping it here. But this is basically the right way to do it, the best way. If you're not wasting, you don't want to waste no money. And because what if you build it and you don't like it and you cut it wrong? So this is the best way I learned, or draw it on a piece of paper and figure it out, or cut it on cardboard. So we got 1.5 inches here. You don't have to be real perfect. So it's going to be about a 1/4 inch there. I'm using this as my gauge. What I want to do here. So I'm just using these clamps. I like these quick clamps actually. They're really good. I gotta come out a little bit more. Oh, that's why it wasn't hitting good. A little bit more. All right, so that's basically what I want, but imagine this is gonna be long here, long, and this is gonna go, then I'm going to got a knifing edge or a cutting edge going to be right here. So basically what we want to do is figure out how wide you want to do. So I took the measurements I found on the website. So people made them from 4 to 6 inches on like light duty, moderate duty buckets. So I found a piece of stainless that was 6 inches wide. So I'm cutting it at 5.5. This one measures 4, but I'm doing 5.5. So we're going to cut that at 5.5 wide. But to get your total lengths, what you want to do is you can do a couple ways. Add all your measurements up. But I'd go like this. I just clamp this down right here. I just clamp this down, then I measure. You want to measure from there to there first. All right. We got 49 and 7/16. All right. Then I take this edge because it sticks out, and you want to add 1.1 inches. So 49 and 9/16. Add 1.1 inches here and 1.1 inches here. That will give you your total measurement. And that's what basically is going to give you to draw out on your plasma or cut it out by hand. So let's go ahead and cut this out, and we're going to fab it up there. This is a piece of metal I found. It's 6 inches wide, 72 inches long. It's 304 stainless. Remember, I'm using what we have on hand because this build is not going to cost me a penny. It's weld.com. It's going to cost weld.com, so I don't want to order all these materials. So 3/8 stainless, 6 inches wide, 72 inches long. So this outside piece right here, this is the actual part of the whole total length and total width. And right here, this little red line, the skinnier one, the fine one, is the actual measurement we drew up. 5.5 inches wide and 50 something long. So all we're gonna do is hit it go and get it cut out and move on. But I got this all clamped up, all dried off, so I'm gonna go ahead, before I bevel this, so I wanna remove that dross, and especially with the plasma, it heats that metal up, it even hardens it, and it'll dull your drill bits or your beveler off of your, what is it, like a milling carbide? It'll dull it even faster. So we're gonna go ahead and just clean this up and round the edges a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and jump into beveling it. We're gonna bevel it to 60 degrees, or 65 degrees total. Type of wheel I'm just using a regular Ferd wheel, 36 grit. It's completely flat, and it's pretty quick, pretty easy change out. All you do is push this in like that, and like that. So basically it's like this, you come on here, you push in. That's pretty fast and easy. Another reason you want to remove that dross from your oxy-fuel or your plasma, because it will give you porosity, or it can. And also, if you want good looking welds, you want to get it completely clean. Your puddle will react better and it will flow better. So let's go ahead. I'm going to be beveling this with this Metabo. It's got little like mill carbides right here. So we're going to have to take this out off in small increments, because this is a hard metal, because it's stainless. So we're going to go ahead and just take little small increments, and we're gonna bevel this all the way to 65 degrees for our cutting edge. Then I'm gonna leave about an 1/8 inch land. I'm just going off of Titan, that's a brand. I'm just going off of that and basically just making it right on this. All right, I got it flipped over, so we gotta remove these little bit of welds right here, because the plate won't sit flat. So we gotta grind right here, grind over there, and also we're gonna grind where we're gonna weld at here. So we're trying to figure out how much we gotta grind off. So you measure your plate's 5.5, and I want 1.5 inch overhang right here. So all we're gonna do is do 1.5 inch from here to here. I'm basically cutting it or sticking it out that I'm measuring. We'll go 6 inches, give me a little bit more room. All right, there's 6 inches. We're gonna do the same over here. 6 inches. So we gotta remove all that weld, remove all this weld. All right, then now we have to remove the mill scale where we're gonna weld this at and tack it. So I'm gonna set this at 6 inches too, this square. This will teach you not to over grind. It actually helps if you hate grinding. So we've got 6 inches, and we're just going to draw a line here. 6 inches. All the way across. And that's our guideline where we got to grind at and remove that mill scale. All right? You want to do this. This is the right thing. Don't be skipping steps. All right. This is right there. And I'm gonna grind, since we're at 5.5 our plate, I'm gonna grind. You know what I mean, about we'll shorten this up to, so I was at 6, we'll go to 5. We'll draw another line for 5. All right, so I know I'm removing the mill scale back behind the plate a little bit. When it's fitted up, when this plate's fit up, I know I'm removing the mill scale about 1/4 inch back. I'm just not removing to the line. All right. All right, we got this all cleaned up. I try to get it perfect. I mean, that's the only way I think in my head. So we got this all cleaned up where this is at. If you're just getting into this and you're not good at feeling flush, you can take your straight edge and just put it against here And if it's high, this will have light through, and this will be higher than the base metal right here. All you're gonna do is just check it, check same sides. And the best way to do this is I remove it with a hard rock. Remember, don't grind into that base metal. Don't put no low spots in it. Then after that, I know I gotta paint it. I step up to 80 grit. Then I hit 80 grit and go that way really quick, because I don't wanna see them scratches, but even though it's on the bottom of this, and you won't ever see it. So I'm gonna flip this around and we're gonna start back over. All right, let's say I grind my bevel. I messed up on my bevel and everything, and you don't think this is accurate. So you know you want a 1.5 inch sticking out, and the pieces is 5.5 inches total. So you can measure back here. So 5.5 minus 1.5 inches is 4. You can measure back here on the stainless steel knifing edge or the cutting edge, and measure up 4 inches, and make sure your 4 inches is even with this plate right here, the bottom of the bucket plate. All right. So I could hit it 30 seconds that way. It probably got messed up when I was beveling this side. So we're gonna go ahead and just hit this a little bit, get this all perfect. Right there, 4 inches. Gonna double check this one. Good, we're 1/16 off. I wanna be on the money, man. All right, we're on the money. We're gonna go ahead and put a clamp here, then we're gonna tack her. There's never such a thing if you're not having enough clamps. I love having lots of clamps. When you're doing this, you wanna make sure there's no gaps out, and we actually wanna start pulling this right here on the bottom of the bucket. This knifing edge, I see this is still crowned. So we're gonna have to put a lot of pressure right here. I just noticed it. So, yeah, I got about a 1/4 inch gap, so we need to get this straight. This is bowed. Heat makes stainless bow bad. We always say it bananas in the fitting world. That's why you gotta have lots of clamps. You have 10. 10's never enough sometimes when you have 10 clamps. We got a little gap back here on the back side, so what I'm gonna do is put a couple tacks here, then we'll flip it, and we'll draw that down and get it the back side of the perfect. All right, so we wanna leave this all clamped down while we're tacking, so there's no gaps, we're good. You wanna check your measurement one more time, all right? Always wanna check your measurements a lot. So it's moved to 32nd, that's pretty good. As long as you're at 1/8 inch and less, but I try aim for perfect. We're 4 inches there. So we're good, I think we're ready to tack. So I'm gonna be tacking with 309 wire because this is carbon to stainless steel. Type of wire I'm using is gonna be a Bowler Vesta 309 SI. We gotta run 309 because we're welding carbon to stainless. So any odd number, like 309, 303, you know that's gonna be carbon to stainless steel all the time. We're running 035. I'm gonna throw this up here, and we're gonna go ahead and get this dialed in this machine. So I'm running the ESOP 285, so we're gonna come over here and set it over to MIG-MAG. So I'm running 035 stainless steel wire. I'm gonna do a short circuit because I'm running 92% argon, 8% CO2. So I'm gonna be running about 22.5. I wanna jam that metal in there. I wanna get good penetration. So I'm gonna run 22.5 and I'm gonna run 446. And when you're tacking, you want to tack hot. Because when you're tacking, you tack hot. Sometimes you got to bang the metal around. You don't want, as soon as you tap on the metal, you don't want to freaking make it fall apart on you. So tack hot, so your metal will stay in place. So 22.5, 446, and also we got to make sure our right here our settings, like you got FE, aluminum, and stainless steel. So we want to set this to stainless steel. And I changed my inductance up. Since stainless is stiff, I usually crank it up to about 55 because that will make the puddle a little bit looser, a little bit fluid. So we'll go right there, and we're gonna go ahead and start tacking our cutting edge blade. We're going to reinforce these sides. So when you're building a bucket or refurbishing a bucket, they call this a shell. And you basically don't want your shell to ever like touch the ground, or you just don't want it to touch the ground. You don't want to put wear on your bucket, or you'll have to start doing what I had to do to this. So we're gonna reinforce this. Basically, I'm gonna put it like a little, figure out what shape I want, but I already did. I already figured out what shape I wanted. So that's it. That's gonna sit like that. But who told me all this is the guy at POC Fab, Jason Listener. He's pretty dang good. Check him out on Instagram. He's pretty good. I mean, he does this type of work, even big equipment, like big DAs, D9s equipment. And he said reinforce your sides, have a little cutting edge right here. You want to have a cutting edge so it goes in the dirt better and everything. So we're going to put a little cutting edge, a 1/4 inch stainless steel right here. And we're going to do a little cutting edge like that, but nothing like that severe angle. Probably like a 45 degrees or something like that. So I already thought how I wanted to do this. So how I did this is basically I went like that, measured that up front, got that set how I wanted it. I mean, I thought about this all off camera. You guys sit there and think how you want this, all right? You can look at everyone else's and take their ideal with your ideal and kind of do it, all right? Instead of building this right the first time, you want to draw it up on paper or cut it out on something thin metal like this, all right? First, I would recommend thin paper, then go to something thin metal so you can actually see it visually in your eyes. And then you can think about it. All right, so we're gonna have this sticking out about 1.5 inches or 1 inch to right here. And we're gonna come up and slowly taper it. And this side is gonna be all stronger because a lot of your force is right here in your header. That's where it's gonna take your abuse at. So you wanna strengthen this header up much as possible. And you don't want this to wear right here, because if you didn't have this on and you let this wear up front, right, like this, it's going to take wear and abuse. So instead of doing that, you put this here. This is going to help you out. You want to protect your shell. That's the main ideal. Here, this is what's going to look like. The sides tell me who's going to have a stainless steel reinforced sides and stainless steel knifing edge. Nobody. And this is like richweld.com right here. So let's go ahead and clean these up and dry fit these bad boys. This is definitely gonna be over a $700 bucket because we still got a lot of shit to do to this thing. I mean, stainless steel sides, stainless steel at the bottom. I'm not telling you what else we gotta do. But yeah, I mean, she looks sexy. All right, our sides are reinforced. So let's go ahead and clean these up, all the dross, and we're gonna put a little bevel right here on the side. Why? Because we're gonna have better engagement into the ground, all right? We're gonna go ahead and dry fit this and look at it, make sure it looks good. Give it like, oh yeah, she's sexy, all right, she looks good. So we're good. Got the bevel going the inside, you want the bevel on the outside. You want the bevel on the inside, yeah, okay. Just make sure it messed up. All right, so we gotta remove our mill scale right here. So we're gonna go, just kind of trace it around it. La la la, like that, simple. Just remove it back, back underneath here 1/2 inch and up here, all right? So we'll pop this bad boy off. And we're just gonna remove about 1/2 inch over here and 1/2 inch right there. All right, then we'll go tack her up. I'm gonna go every 3 inches on this one. So we'll go here, 6, 9, 12. I think I got too many tacks. Let's redo that. I don't like 3. I think it's too many. All right, let's go 5. 5, 10, 15. Yeah, that's better. Man, she looks good. All right, we're gonna flip it over. We're done with this. We're gonna flip it over and we're gonna do some stuff on the bottom. No, we're not doing the knife edge tacking yet, something special. All right, so let me flip this over and I'll tell you guys then. Listen to this. This is a pretty genius ideal that Sky gave me. Of course, it was a POC Fab. He's pretty dang good. Check him out. All right, so, this whole bucket touches the ground, right? Well, when your whole bucket touches the ground, it creates friction and you need more power to dig in. So this is all you gotta do is, let's say you put a 3-inch strap here, 3-inch strap right here, 3-inch strap here. What happens? You only got a little bit touching the ground, so that requires less power, less friction, and you'll get more out of your tractor. You'll dig deeper. Tell me that ain't genius. If you didn't catch that, I'll draw it. 3-inch plate here, let's say 3-inch plate here, 3-inch plate right here, and 3-inch plate right here. So you only got this touching the ground, all right? Less friction you're getting, and you're saving your shell, all right? You're gonna only put wear on this. So we're gonna make them out of stainless steel 1/4 inch. It don't have to be the same thickness. How about that? I don't know if I'm gonna use 4 or 5 plates, but I'm gonna cut 5. So we're gonna be doing 3 inches wide, like I said, and I'm gonna do 9 inches long. So from here to about right here, 9 inches. The seam's already got a bevel in it. Well, it had a bevel before I welded on it. Well, I left a little gap. And so I'm not worried about grinding this down. I mean, I'm not worried about removing this weld because it will still hold the plates together. Plus, we're gonna have a weld on these flat bars right here. So we're gonna go over to the Quickie, cut them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plates, 3 inches wide. Let's go do this. It's gonna be out 1/4 inch stainless, same as the side plates. So let's say you got 3 pickets here. It don't matter how many you have, 5, 6. This is simplest way I got taught a long time ago. So you basically take all your pickets, slide them to one side. I usually put a little space. It just helps me. I go like that, a little space. So you basically count your spaces in between your picket. So you got 1 here, then I'm gonna come down here, like that, that's 1. And you got 2, 1, 2, then you got a space right here. There's 3, and a lot of people mess this up. There's 4 spaces, all right? So since I can't hold these up, I gotta put these up here like this. I'm not using these pickets, but this is how I gotta do it in this video. Here, let me explain that a little bit better then, since I got this. So slide them all to one side. 1, count your spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's gonna be in between that. And you take that measurement and you measure this from here to here, your inside to inside. So we'll call it 33 and, 33 and 15/16. So we got 33, I always gotta write it down, I forget numbers. 33 and 15/16, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 gaps, and we gotta divide this by 4. So it's gonna be 8. So between each spaces, to make these all spaced out even, it's gonna be 8 inches, 484 thousandths. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut a spacer really quick. I'll meet you guys back over here. This is our spacer. I just cut like this. Yes, I cut it out of stainless. All right, because I'm lazy and I'm in a hurry. So this is our spacer. These are 3 inches wide. So we're just gonna go like this. Turn that sideways. Because our spacer's the same width as these. We're just gonna go like that. Mark it. We gotta remove the mill scale right here. Right here. I'm gonna space a little gap right here, but I'm not gonna remove the mill scale because it's not gonna go that deep. Because I don't wanna bevel this plate with a grinder. So we're gonna keep doing the same thing. And this should work right there. Look at that. Boom, even all the time. Let's say you got like you're cockeyed a little bit. Like this measurement's different, this measurement's different. All you gotta do is measure this one over here, the space, measure this one and measure this one. And basically, that's all you gotta do. Take that measurement and take that measurement right here and just keep that the same all the way down. All right, when you're laying these lines out. That's it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean these up right here and remove that weld. Remember, we gotta remove that weld so it can sit completely flat. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my gear on and we're gonna do this really quick. We're just gonna go like this. All right, I'm gonna go 2 spots so I can put a straight edge and make these lines pretty accurate. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna grab my gear and we're gonna go ahead and start tacking these. You can make sure you're accurate from here, because if you're not accurate here, it's going to add up and throw you off big time at the end. I'm going to reinforce these sides right here. All right there. Why? Because that's where it's always going to make contact with the dirt. You're trying to protect your bucket, your shell. All right? Because this is going to go in the dirt all the time right here when you're digging. You're going to tilt down or go flat in, and it's always going to wear right here. All right? When that starts wearing, you can just cut that off and replace that. But I don't have a big land. I got 5 acres, so I won't ever be using that much. And I'm not even brush hogging with that 5 acres. So not much, basically leveling the land out. And it'll last me forever. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And yeah, so I'm gonna grind this tack out and I'll show you how I laid this out. If you ever remove a tack, make sure you got another tack on the other side. I do because we tacked them plates there. So right here so I'm just imagining where this place, where this came down and met, and this came down and met, and I'm just imagining a straight line up. To get your straight line, I just get a level. I put a level here, and put this on my imaginary line where I'm looking down at. And you want to try to be accurate as you can with that bubble. Then all I did is describe a line. All right. Then next, all I did is, so we're coming up. We're using about 3-inch plates. So I came up to here. I marked 3 inches. All right. All right. Now, there's a couple ways you could do this. So this is gonna be my way. So I just measured from here to here and got 7 1/4. Wrote that down. I measured from here to here. So I got 8 3/8. I already cut one out, so we're going ahead and just tack it up. I gotta clean this dross off, but this is what it's gonna look like about right here. All right. I'm gonna space this out a little bit so I can bite in down here and flush that out. Also, I cut a little short, but I'll show you how to fix a mistake. All right. We're gonna remove this metal skill first. Everyone has mistakes, not a big deal. Don't sweat it. So I'm gonna put a weld here and weld across here. All right, all I do is match this up. I'm a little long right here on the bottom, but we can grind that off. All right, and make sure we're good right here on the back side. All right, your main thing is getting this matching because this is what everyone's gonna see is this edge right here. I'm gonna space this a little bit so when I grind it, you wanna make sure you have a little space because when you grind your weld out, it's gotta still be biting. Let's say I butted up all the way against, welded it, grind the welds. Well, there's no strength there. You removed all your welds. So let's go ahead, put a little space there and do it. All right, first I'm gonna go ahead and remove this right here because it's a little long. I left it long on purpose because I don't want it short. So I'm gonna grind that back a little bit, then I'll show you, we're gonna weld it up next. See, I didn't have a tack down there. So all we're gonna do is bring that back. Sometimes you have to grind your tack because it won't sit flat. So we're just gonna put one right here. All right, we got this all feathered out in one piece here. It looks nice and uniform. Some people could do it all in one, so I didn't do it all in one. What is it? You want to make sure you have good tacks, because when you start welding in one area, I put a little bit of heat, kind of a lot of heat. I should have jumped around, but when you do weld a lot in one area, these tacks will pop. All right, make sure you got good fat tacks, or put a lot of little tacks. And when I was grinding back here, I removed a tack and it popped up. So I took a clamp, squeezed it back down, and re-tacked it. All right, that's from removing the tack, and that's why it popped. So yeah, that's about it. So we're done with this side. We're gonna go ahead and do the other side later. All right, so that's about it for episode 2. That wraps it up. So I think the bucket's pretty awesome. It looks sexy to me from standing back looking at it, but that's my personal opinion. So we got the sides done, the cutting edge, and the bottom of it. I mean, that's 304 stainless. That's pretty gnarly. I like it. So stick around for episode 3. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. We got some cool add-ons to do. So I'm Man Cub. I'll see you guys next time. Learning is key. Goodbye.